I'm Jack Knight Winters. This is Jack Frost University, and this video is part of my series entitled Six-Dimensional Concepts. So most people that would even find my channel are at the fifth dimensional state of awareness, or anyone who would even get to my videos must, by universal law, be at least at the fifth dimensional state of awareness. Consciousness, awareness, and intelligence are all the same thing. So as you move upwards in dimensional states, you get intelligence. You just become intelligent. So this is a 60 concept video, and it's for the 5D who are about to make that shift upwards. So, and I'm going to be talking today about mythology, specifically that part of mythology that includes sea serpents. Okay. So I've been studying mythology for 20 years, and there's this reoccurring theme that you'll notice within all mythology, whether it's Norse mythology, Sumerian mythology, Irish mythology, Native American mythology. I think I already said Norse. It's all the same sea serpent that we're talking about. So in the Jewish mythology, we have the Leviathan, the sea serpent. Okay, in the Sumerian texts, we have Tiamat. Okay, and in the Norse mythology, we have the Midgard serpent, Jormungandr. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Well, they're all the same. Okay, all of these different cultures and civilizations are all talking about the same energy. It's the same reoccurring energy, okay? So whether it's the Jewish Leviathan or the Sumerian Tiamat or the Norse Midgard serpent Jormungandr or any other kind of sea serpent, it's basically talking about that same energy pattern, okay? So, and if you'll also notice that Leviathan gets conquered, okay? Tiamat conquers, I'm sorry, Tiamat was conquered by Marduk, and Jormungandr was conquered by Thor, and I don't know who the Leviathan was conquered by, but they look it up, you'll know this. So, we live in an electrical universe, and that's evidenced by the electrons in the oxygen that we breathe, and the carbon atoms that our physical bodies are made of. Okay, so we have electrons throughout this planet. Electrons, electrical universe. So we live in an electrical universe, okay? Mankind within this planet are in an electrical circuit, okay? All humans are in this electrical circuit, and we're all connected to this electrical circuit through our hearts, okay? We have this current of electricity that goes through our hearts, okay? Electrical energy is flowing through our hearts, and that's what connects us all. So those who are connected to their heart can get quite a bit more out of life than people who just aren't, okay? The 3D and the 4D, the 3D people are not connected at all through their hearts, okay? They don't feel any connection. The 4D are just beginning to get there. They're going to temple or church or whatnot. The 5D are finally starting to get it. We're definitely all connected. And so those who are connected to their heart and intuition are going to be able to access greater amounts of knowledge in quicker amounts of time, okay? Because we form humanity, because we form a fixed electrical circuit, you can take notice of all the patterns that occur throughout time, okay? And in essence, we become like galactic technicians who troubleshoot humanity. We troubleshoot humanity just like a technician would troubleshoot an electrical circuit board or something. We can do the same things with humanity, okay? So that brings me to this reoccurring pattern called Leviathan, okay? Now you'll see here, we have the white Pope, okay? And he's in the Vatican. And if you look at the auditorium, I've done a previous video on this, and it seemed to get a lot of likes, so people are perhaps kind of waking up to this energy, okay? And as you can see that when the Pope stands in this auditorium within the Vatican, it looks a lot like a serpent, okay? And it is. It's a sea serpent. And this is the energy that we're talking about in all these mythological tales, okay? The Pope speaks from between the fangs of the serpent. Okay? And the reason why it's a sea serpent is because you'll understand there are three primary jurisdictions: air, sea, and land. Okay? And the Sumerian texts talk about this, how Anu was a sky god. Okay? He was given domain. He had domain over the air. He gave domain of the sea to Enki. Enki is the serpent. Okay? And he gave dominion to Enlil, or gave dominion of land over to Enlil. Okay? This Vatican, you'll know that they call it the Holy See. And there's a reason why it's called that, is because they are the overseers of all that occurs within the seas of commerce. It's all commerce, though. Okay? And that's something to keep in mind. They're not really religion and trust law falls within, and ecclesiastical authority falls within air jurisdiction. Okay? Which is what actually Kukulkan was operated in. Kukulkan operated within the jurisdiction of air. Now, the Vatican, they don't really operate, they haven't really been operating within the jurisdiction of air. They're operating within the jurisdiction of the sea, okay? But they have been posing as ecclesiastical authority, but they never have been, okay? So they're the Holy See. They're the overseer of all commerce. And if you keep investigating, keep looking into London, Vatican, Rome, and all that, you'll see it's all commerce. It's not true ecclesiastical authority. What they did is they took ecclesiastical authority and they copied it and pasted it under their sea jurisdiction and made a business out of it. Okay, there's no business in the ecclesiastical realm. Okay, ecclesiastics, the church authority is primarily concerned with the welfare of mankind, not treating humans as assets in commerce. So they appear to be operating under the jurisdiction of air, but they're not. So this is not the first time, and this is not the only generation that has witnessed this energy. Okay, we, as a Druid, as a pagan, land-based entity pagan, have been noticing this energy pop up over and over and over again. Okay, it always pops up, and when we see it, we write about it. Okay, we write it, and people come around later and they try to fictionalize it and say, that's a story, it's mythology. It's not mythology. It's right there in front of you. Now you can see it with your own eyes. Okay. This is not the first time, nor is it the first generation that's witnessed this Leviathan energy, this sea serpent. Okay. And it is conquered by a Thor-type person, Marduk. That's all the same person, by the way. Thor, Marduk, and Ra, pretty much all the same energy. So, look around and try to pay attention to the news and see who's conquered this energy. Okay? When these energies reveal themselves, we, the Druids, the land-based pagans, we write about them. And these become your stories of old. Stories of legends, okay? Now I'm going to switch over and I'm going to start talking about Druids for a moment. Okay? Druids, as you see in this definition by Wikipedia, are a high-ranking professional class of religious leaders. Okay, leaders, not followers. Leaders. They operate as legal authorities. Adjudicators. Adjudicators means like those who resolve and settle disputes between parties and lawsuits and stuff like that. Okay, they're lore keepers, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. They're lore keepers, they're medical professionals, and they're political advisors. Okay. Medical professionals and political advisors, okay? But the one I'm going to be talking about here for a moment is lore keepers. Druids keep the lore, okay? Now the Bible, a lot of people don't know this, but it's classified as lore. And if you don't believe that, keep studying it. I've been studying the Bible quite intensely for 20 years, and I can tell you, it's a big story, okay? The story of Jesus and on the cross, okay? Look at the crucifix. What is a crucifix? The definition of crucifix is a fixed cross. It's talking about the zodiac, okay? Jesus was hung up on the cross. It's talking about the zodiac, okay? Kind of like Constantine. He said, I got astrology. I need nothing else, The Bible is lore. There's demons. There's angels with wings, right? There's demons with tails and spiked tails and evil wings flying all over the place. There's sea creatures like Leviathan. There's lions with wings. There's burning bushes. There's people walking on the water. There's people dividing the sea, and, uh, you know, it's all true. All this mythology is true, and all news is fake. I'll say that over and over again a million times till it gets in people's head. All mythology is true. It just appears as fiction, but mythology speaks to where? Where does mythology speak through? It's entertainment. All these Disney movies and all these fiction movies and superhero movies, it's all true. But here's the thing. Our minds, from the time that we're children, we're mind-fucked. We're programmed for stupidity, okay? Kindergarten through 12th grade, university, education, churches, religion, they don't make you smarter, they make you dumber, okay? They want you to fall in line so that you can offer more in the realm of commerce, okay? The dumber you are, the more money you're going to make for the smart people. We're kind of indoctrinated from a very young age, and because of that confusion and that lack of clarity, the truth can't really penetrate too much into our minds. So we watch these movies, and they kind of speak to the heart. They speak to the right brain, the creative functions, more than they do the left brain or any other part of the brain, okay? This current of electrical energy that goes through our hearts, there's more truth found in that. That's why if you notice, when you hear from God or hear from the universe, or you get a synchronicity, oftentimes, like I remember when I first started off praying when I was 22 years old and really trying to get close with God or close to Holy Spirit or whatnot, you feel it here. When you feel God speak, you feel it here. There's a reason for that. They say that the heart is the throne of God. This is where the truth is. And when we're being entertained by these stories, when we're reading mythology and watching Disney movies and everything, it hits us here, okay? That's where the truth really is. It's not up here. This takes years and years. I mean, 20 years of studying, and I'm just coming out of the darkness and trying to understand, okay, Jesus, there's all these fiction, Jesus and Mithras and Osiris and Horus, and all these people were all born on Christmas Day to a virgin. It had something, and Odin, they all had something to do with wood, dying from a wood, hanging upside down from a tree. I mean, it's just it's mythology. But there's truth in it. You just have to have the right keys to unlock it. And and like I said before, Tiamat, Leviathan, and Jormungandr, look into it. It's all the same story, just different generations speaking about it, okay? And here's the trick, and here's the key to it really all, okay? We're so used to living in the here and now. We really do live in the here and now, and most people aren't really processing, when they think mythology, Thor slays Jormungandr, or Marduk slays Tiamat, and we think that this would happen over 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like this great battle that takes place. But here's the key to unlock mythology. Expand your time frame outwards a little from this 10-minute or 20-minute battle, or even 2 or 3 year battle. Extend it outwards. 40 years, 80 years, 100 years, okay? Benjamin Franklin and the forefathers, they didn't conquer London overnight. That took a long time, a lot of planning, 20 years, probably more. And that's the key to understanding these mythological stories, is the slaying of Tiamat, or the disabling of the Vatican. Okay, the disabling of the Vatican, that takes place, it takes a long time to do that. That's not something that happened in 2 or 3 years. That's a long process of planning, orchestrating, assembling, things like that, okay? So that's a 6-dimensional concept about mythology and sea serpents, and later on I'll be talking about all mythology, but keep in mind that's what the Druids do. They keep the lore. We keep these stories going so that later generations can look at this and say, oh, I get it. Yeah, you're right. Humanity is an electrical circuit, and these energies keep popping up, folks. So I hope you enjoyed.